Hi, I'm certified life coach DeJuan J of the High Vibrations Only platform. What you're about to watch is an open coaching session that was actually filmed on TikTok. I pray that the information in the video that you're about to watch will inform, inspire, and ignite you to become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you're abreast of all future content coming from me. I'll see you in there. Let's go. I'm amped. I am amped today because today we are beginning a brand new series called My DMs Though. And if you have not had a chance to catch up on the Fit to Fight series, if you had not had a chance to catch up on the Trust the Transition series, if you haven't had a chance to jump on the Jesus side, right, and the Christian based content, there is one series available, Oil, Obedience, and Opportunity, and we are just beginning a brand new series entitled If Being a Christian Was a Crime and You Were on Trial for It, would anybody have enough evidence to convict you? And here we are. All of those are available on my YouTube channel. Link in the bio. Pull up on your boy on YouTube. Today we want to kick this series off. My DMs though, and this comes from a lot of misconception. This comes from a lot of frustrated women, a lot of frustrated men that are getting direct messages from people that they don't necessarily welcome into their direct messages, right? People that they don't necessarily want in their direct messages, things that they don't necessarily want to see or hear. Now, when it comes to this, what happens is after a series of these direct messages, we start to identify with the way that other people are viewing us, and this is not a way to live life. What seems to happen is we tend to adopt the personality traits of our environment. We seem to adopt into our character. Tashi, what's up? I see you. We seem to adopt what it is in the environments that we put ourselves in. And I'd like to submit to you today that the things that happen in your DMs are actually a boundary and a barrier problem. While some of us are just going about living our day-to-day lives, I hear you. Somebody just said in the back of their mind, I didn't ask for that, DeJuan. Okay. But this is what happens. This is how life happens to us. This is how problems sneak up on us. While we're busy living day-to-day lives, while we're busy living our best life, while we're busy posting our highlights across social media, and some of us are spreading the word of Christ, and some of us are getting ready with me. Some of us are battlers. Some of us are people that are just want to get online and kick it. But what about the back door? We're so busy putting up a front that we forget what could happen from behind us. Wow, what's happening? Welcome in. And this series is going to orchestrate or illustrate what it is that not being mindful of your boundaries and barriers could lead to. Curry, let's go with the couch potato contributing to the live goal. What it could lead to. And today, DM doesn't stand for direct message. DM stands for a distrustful mindset. Distrustful mindset. I saw an antique the other day. And it was something that now if you were born after the year 1998. Or before the year 1998, I should say. If you were born before 1998, this may not apply to you. You may not have any idea what I'm talking about. But I saw a phone that actually I came across a box of phones. There was a house phone in there. How many of y'all know what a house phone is? It was a thing that kind of constricted us to the wall, right? Before internet was a mandatory resource to live life. Yeah, you plug this thing in, and then you had this big supercomputer that was going on inside of there, and you couldn't be on the phone and the internet at the same time. DMs were actually the first version of a text message. Let me prove it. Before cell phones could talk, right, we had this thing called America Online, AIM, right? American Instant Messenger. And this was the first iteration of a text message. And after that, the cell phones adopted the technology, and you had to press the button 3 times to get to the letter C. You couldn't even say good morning without having to type literally about 90 times, right? You had to text all of this G, and then you had to go to O, and then you had to wait 1 second for the cursor to move so you could type O again, because if you type O too fast again, then it went to the next letter or the next number. Daniela, what's happening? So I came across this box of antiques, and I actually found a rotary phone in there, and I immediately looked over across the room at Dominic, and Dominic had a cell phone in his hand, and he was watching his videos, and it's that kind of mentality that I think we'll have to be mindful of. See, with the rotary phone, you had to be very conscious and cognizant of what it was that you were dialing. When you had the T9 text, there was no room for interpretation, because at that time, we had this thing called anytime minutes, and we had to pay for data in the morning. Jen, what's happening? Ron, what's happening? We had to pay for data during the daytime, and after 7 p.m. it was free. You couldn't even argue with your significant other during the daytime via text message because it was costing you money. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. Listen, whoever orchestrated that video, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. It moved me. It literally had me crying in public, which I don't appreciate, but I appreciate y'all beyond words could ever say. This platform doesn't exist without y'all, and I appreciate y'all coming in here and rocking out. But yeah, you couldn't even argue with your significant other via text message back in the day, because it was literally costing you money. And this is where the concept or the term, this is an after 7 conversation. Yo, hit me back up after 7, right? So no, Lucky, you helping me celebrate right now. So when it comes down to it, the distrustful mindset, our DMs, our distrustful mindset. See, what happens is purpose, thank you, Tashi, purpose doesn't have 3-way calling. Vision doesn't have 3-way calling. Happiness and peace does not have a call waiting. Right? It doesn't have a message after 7. It doesn't have data limits. If you miss the call, if you miss purpose, if you miss vision, then you missed it. And here's why we're here today. Because our direct messages are messages, but it's up to you to determine who it is that has access to you. It's up to you to set the barriers, the parameters of who it is that can actually reach you. Avon, thank you for the follow. It's up to you to set these barriers and parameters. Now, what happens is that we find ourselves in a space of being lost. We find ourselves using our past to put our purpose in prison. We find ourselves using abuse as a crutch to not carry out the assignment. We carry around annoyance and anger, and this cancels the anointing that we have on our life. Because our direct messages, our DMs are full of distrustful messages. It's full of people objectifying us. It's full of people that doubt our dreams. It's full of people who don't necessarily believe. It's full of halfway people in our lives. It's full of situations like a dead-end job. It's full of situations like a family who never support but always have something to say. It's full of people that won't give you the helping hand when you need it, but the minute that they see you up, they're having their hand out. This creates, La Muñeca is in the building. This creates a distrustful mindset. Let's go contributing to the live goal. When it comes to purpose, when it comes to vision, when it comes to happiness, when it comes to peace, Lucky, lighten up. Let's go. Thank you. When it comes to purpose and vision and happiness and peace, there's an important concept that we have to mind here, that we have to remember here. And that concept is simply this. When the enemy can't make you mad, he keeps you busy. When your purpose is under attack and it can't annoy you, it keeps you busy. And how many of us are busy worrying about how many followers we're going to attract than we are setting the boundaries on our life? Or where you eat. We're worried about what's in front of us without closing the gate behind us. We're wondering why the price of lights is so expensive is because when we close the front door, we don't turn the lights off. We're wondering why the grocery bill is going up, but how many leftovers do we throw away? In other words, what I'm saying is that your past, if you don't deal with it, if you don't hit the block button, if you don't close off access to your most valuable assets, which is your mind, your heart, some of us, our bodies, no, I'm not here to judge. But if you're not guarding the access carefully, you'll end up with negative things in your DMs. You'll end up with objectification in your DMs. You'll end up with depression and anxiety inside of your DMs because I didn't set the filter. There was a pastor, and he was teaching the class, and on this class, he when you walked in, you had a jar, right? He had a jar of beans on the counter, and he would ask the students. He'd hand out 2 pieces of paper. He'd get the students. He'd say, "Hey, how many jelly beans are in this jar?" And we would all guess, right? We'd write down the numbers, and he'd write everybody's answer on the board. He'd write your name, your answer, and then he had a separate list. And the list then was like, "What is your favorite song?" So he'd make both of these lists, and then he'd ask, how many of y'all think that you were right? And everybody would raise their hand. Then he revealed the actual number, and then all of a sudden the students' hands would start to go down. Those that weren't even close, those who didn't have an accurate representation or proper reference to what was actually being taught there. So then he would ask, hey, when it comes to your faith, when it comes to the way that you live life, when it comes to the things that you actually believe, which one of these favorite songs are right? And the students would then say, hey, how can you say that somebody's favorite song is correct or incorrect? It's all based off of your taste. What genre of music do you like? What do you want to be sung to? Do you want to be rapped to? Do you want to be screamed at? Do you want, what? You can't tell me I'm right or wrong about my favorite song. And I asked the professor one day and I said, hey, okay, how are these people answering these questions? And he said, from the old to the young, they all say that when it comes to faith, that it's about your taste. And I was like, and do you confirm that afterwards? And he said, yeah, right after I try and argue him out of it. What this professor was illustrating during this time is that you choose what influences you. Music enters your brain subconsciously, much like direct messages. Don't believe me? Watch me prove it. How many people in the chat have gotten a direct message or a text message that they didn't like? Why? Because the person came off disrespectful on the other side. Why? Because the person came off and tried to impose their view of that person on that person. Why? Because it was spreading drama. Why? Because it was spreading nonsense. Just like you choose your favorite song, your favorite genre of music, you have the unalienable right to choose what happens in your DMs, because DMs can lead to a distrustful mindset. What's the problem? Coach, why are you up here beefing with DMs? I beef with DMs, not so much the DM, but the concept of what it stands for. It's so impersonal. It's so ambiguous. It's in such a way that you have to go back and ask clarifying questions. With the use of acronyms, with the use of emojis, with the use of people taking what they see from you on this screen and taking it to that's how you are as a person. The Bible will tell you to be all things to all people. Psychologists will tell you to be empathetic and open-minded to all people. Psychiatrists will tell you, and sociologists will tell you, it's about your coping skills and how you interweave and interact with different people. But when it comes to your DMs, we have a distrustful mindset because there's so much ambiguity. Why? Let's talk about it. When you're selecting your friends, when you're selecting your family, how often are we actually having the conversations about what the expectation of the friendship are? How often are we having the conversation about what the boundaries are and what the level of expectation is going to be in order to be in a relationship with me? It doesn't matter the dynamic. And because just like our DMs, these conversations are unclear and I'm just going to go with the flow and let's see where it goes and let's see what happens. Just like that, we end up with a distrustful mindset. Why? Because the person who committed the offense wasn't clear on the boundaries. Therefore, they did not commit an offense. There is no such thing as a boundary if the conversation to set that said boundary never happened. Let me help you today. Common sense says trash. They should have known trash. Just like it's important for us to set the boundaries on who has access to our direct messages, it's important for us to set the boundaries on who has access to our direct message. Who has your ear? Whoever has your ear has your heart. Now, she said, say it again. Whoever has access to your ear has access to your heart. And just like it's important to have control access to who can have access to your direct message, it's important that you have access or control access to your direct message. What tends to happen is that we settle because we don't want to be called the A word, the B word, or the C word. We don't want to be considered a bad person. We don't want to be considered stuck up. We don't want to be considered a standoffish person. We don't want to be considered unapproachable or unhumanistic, right? We don't want to be considered these things. So what actually ends up happening is because of the ambiguity in our relationships, we actually lower the bar and we live below our standard. No wonder so many people are complaining on social media asking, is this all for me? No wonder people are staying in dead-end relationships because they wonder, is this all for me? No wonder people continue to go around people who run their name in the mud, who stab them in the back at the very same chance they get. These people are choking the life out of your purpose, and the only thing that you do because you won't set the boundary is turn around and ask for another dagger. We have to begin to put the filter in place for our direct messages so that we don't end up with a distrustful mindset. The problem is that 91% of communication is done through nonverbal skills. Via text message, you can't look me in the eyes and feel my sincerity. Via DM, you can't look at my body language and see that I'm uncomfortable having this conversation. And this is going to take your ability to empathize with me off of you. And there you're going to say what it is that you want to say. There's a lack of respect for the relationship and the bond that we've built via DM. There's a lack of effort that is necessary to be put into practice because of the DM. And now when this person acts out of character, to me, it's shocking because I didn't dig deep enough past the DM to realize that this is who this person was all along. But because of that, I couldn't read the nonverbal cues. Because I couldn't read the character of the person, because I couldn't read the body language of the person, I didn't set the proper boundaries in place. So what they do actually shocks me. And then I'm hurt. And now I don't trust any DM again. I don't trust any direct messenger again. I don't trust. See, this is crucial because it's not just about your heart being broken. This is about a future of how you live your life. We have a disconnect inside of the dating market in this country. We have a disconnect inside of a household, inside of this country. We have a disconnect between shepherd and sheep in this country. We have a disconnect with God and his people in this country. And it's all due to nonverbal cues not being recognized. It's all due to emojis being utilized, acronyms being utilized, and how short it actually is, and nobody wanting to be the bad person, nobody wanting to be the annoying person and ask for clarity behind this message. So when I'm hurt, it creates and generates a distrustful mindset. Nonverbal cues, the ambiguity. If I say good morning with an exclamation point versus me saying GM with an exclamation point, my intent was the same, but because of lack of clarity, and now what happens is, because I'm unclear, I actually start to doubt myself. Because I'm unclear of the message being sent, because I'm unclear of my value, I'm having a crisis in my mind of whether or not I should correct this person and how they should address me. Y'all do not want to talk to me about this today. We allow our DMs to influence how we start to see ourselves. We'll start to ask, am I tripping? Like, am I making too much out of this? And now I'm in my own head. And this is dangerous. This is dangerous because the minute that you start to plant the seed of self-doubt in your mind, the minute that you believe that you can no longer trust your intuition, the minute that you believe that you can't trust the voice that's inside of your head, the minute that you start to believe that you have planted a seed in your heart, that your opinion, that your discernment, that the Holy Spirit living on the inside of you is not enough to make this decision. And here, this seed, it grows and it grows. And once it starts to flower, once it starts to bloom, it's not only the seed of doubt that we get the seed of needing external validation. We get the seed of needing constant confirmation. We get the seed of doubting what our vision is, if it's correct or if I'm walking in purpose. We get the seed of wondering if I'm pretty enough. We get the seed of wondering if I'm smart enough. We get the seed of how long is God going to punish me for my mistakes. We get the seed of lack of forgiveness. We get so many seeds plant based off of this, and it's all due to the ambiguity sent in a direct message. It's amazing how we can take the same information and process it completely different, yet nobody is stepping up and asking for clarity. It's amazing how we send emojis. We send emojis and we just assume that people know what we meant. We send emojis and assume that people get the same intent that we get behind it. If my sentence is too short, I have an attitude problem. If it's too long, then I talk too much. Has anybody ever tried to pick up the phone? Diane, thank you for the follow. Has anybody tried to pick up the phone? Because what happens here is we send one thing meaning something, and next thing you know, we're in an argument. We don't have any friends anymore. We don't have that bond that was doing. But what happened? The lack of clarity and the lack of wanting or desiring to ask why, because it's going to make us look not smart. It's going to make us look as if we're annoying. It's going to make us look as if we don't know, or if we're not cool, or if we're not hip. But let me explain something to you. You owe it to yourself to control the flow of your direct messages. You owe it to yourself to tell somebody, I am fearfully, wonderfully made in the image of the Creator. You will not talk to me like that. You owe it to yourself to set the proper boundaries inside of your life to say, hey, if you're going to go gossip, do that away from me, because I'm not doing this. You owe it to yourself to tell that husband to not talk to you and you're more than a piece of meat and a cooking slave. You owe it to that wife to okay. It's about to go up in here today. We're sitting around, and because we won't sin and ask the message for a message of clarity, because we don't want to look bad, we're actually doing more harm to ourselves. You, at the point that you don't ask for clarity, at the point that you don't demand clarity, at the moment that you don't come on one accord with the people around you in your life, you've actually become your own biggest op. Why? Because I sit back and I allow my voice to be canceled. I sit back and allow my heart to be misused. I sit back and treat my head and my heart like an emotional doormat, all because I won't ask for clarity when these people are going around living their only lives. You're wondering how come they can't see you. You're wondering how come they can't hear you when you're asking for help. You're wondering how come they won't pick up on your nonverbal cues. But the truth of the matter is, without asking for clarity, they can't understand your clarity. They don't see you. They don't understand. Why? Because you don't speak up. And as a result of that, you've become your own biggest op. You don't trust that you're saying the right thing. So now what was DM'd to you is now being DM'd back. It's being replied to as a distrustful mindset. Every light-skinned dude with waves is not a cheater. Every woman with white toes and a sundress is not treated. Because a woman likes nice things, it doesn't make her a gold digger. Because a man has a nice suit on, it doesn't necessarily make him a nice person. But because I'm unclear, because I won't ask the questions, when I get DM'd something that's incorrect, if I don't reply, that is in fact a reply. The fact that you don't reply to set the boundaries, what you're saying is, yeah, continue to do this to me. Yeah, continue to talk to me like that. Yeah, continue to treat me like this. Yeah, continue to ignore me. Yeah, don't learn my love language. What you're actually saying is that I don't care enough about me to respect this relationship. Why? Because here's the thing, and I hear this all across this app. I hear it all across this app. I don't have time to teach a grown man how to be a man. No, you don't have time to teach a grown man how to be a man, but you do have time to teach him how to be your man. It's time out. It's time for us to put our ego aside. Because what happens is we've been in this same DM thread for a long time. We've been in this same message cycle for a long time. Hey, shawty. Hey, mom. Hey, girl. Hey. We've been in this cycle for so long that we've now began to adopt this as a character trait. This is part of our character. We have some people who won't even open their messages. Catch what I'm saying, both naturally and spiritually, both mentally and inside of your heart. We have people who have gotten so many bad DMs that they don't even open their messages. What happens if your next business opportunity is there? What happens if the person that you've been praying for is there? What happens if your breakthrough is there? What happens if your healer is there? What happens if your coach, your therapist is there? What happens? But you won't even open the message because I've been dealing with this for the last decade, DeJuan, and I'm tired. I've been dealing with this for the last 15 to 20 years and I'm tired. But you owe it to yourself to open the message, read the message, respond to the message, and then decide what's going to happen to the person sending it. We throw little colloquialisms. We throw little cute phrases out there. Hey man, don't shoot the message. Oh yeah. I'm of a mindset where, why did you feel comfortable delivering this message to me? Who did you think that you were talking to? Do you not know that I am a son of the king? Okay, I don't got time to get into that. Who did you think that you were talking to? Right, Carmen? You owe it to yourself to open the message. Why? Why? Because here we are, right? We're on this mental health kick. Right? We have all of these buzzwords floating around: mental health and safe space and setting boundaries and barriers. But what does that actually mean? What does it mean? What it means is that you don't necessarily have to stay in the place that you are, but you owe it to yourself to learn something from where you are. The anomaly said God won't send it there because he knows you aren't receptive when it comes to DMs, and he knows his children. Okay. He told Moses to prophesy to the children of Israel, and he wasn't a good speaker. He interrupted Paul's DMs on the road to Damascus when Paul was literally getting ready to go kill Christians. And I'm not saying this to debate you. What I'm saying is that we don't know. what instrument is going to be used for us to pursue purpose. And all things work together for the glory of God. In other words, usually, and if you're honest with yourself, your anointing is usually found in your annoyance. You were created for a purpose. That purpose was to solve a problem. That problem usually comes as a source of your annoyance. I get you. All love, sister. All love. But what I'm saying is you don't know, right? If all things work together for my good, then I should explore all things. And I'm saying this because if you know somebody that I don't know, but you know that I can help this person, and you don't have my phone number, and you DM me, but I don't check my DMs, who suffers? Not you, not me, but the person that actually needed the help. I can't allow my own ego or what I'm tired of to prevent me from opening my own DMs. Why? Because I don't open them because my mindset is now distrustful. I don't trust that I'm going to find anything good in here, so I just avoid it altogether. No. The quickest way to get to a problem, to get through a problem, is to literally go through the problem. If I stand where I am, I'm going to continue to be hit. If I go back to where I came from, I'm going to have to come through it again. So I have to go through and stop allowing my direct messages to turn into a distrustful mindset. What does that come with? That comes with resilience. That comes with strength. That comes with discernment. That comes with wisdom. That comes with knowledge. That comes from firm boundaries. That comes with being, watch this, authentic. That comes with authentic. I joke all the time, right? Because I go into lives, right? And let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. I pop into lives and people, like, the energy in the live changes. I see it when I first come in. Sometimes I'll stick around, joke around for a little bit, and I'll leave, right? Most of the time, what's up, coach? Right? And kind of I was like, well, what is this? Butterfly was happening. Why does this happen? Why? It comes with being authentic. Why? Because I don't think that anybody who's hung around these lives, who knows me on a personal level, can tell you that if God ain't in it, I ain't there. I'll come in, I'll say hi to you because I love you as a person. But if the energy ain't right, I'm not in there. I think anybody can attest to that. And as a result of me being authentically who I am, nobody takes offense. Because they know that it's not about the person. It's not about you as a person. In the morning time, when we have these lives, we have pagans in here. We have people from the LGBTQ community coming here. We have atheists coming here. I want them here. I want you here. But over here, there's going to be decorum. Over here, the name of God is going to be exalted. Over here, we're going to operate out of love. Why? Because I'm not afraid to open my DMs, because I don't have a distrustful mindset. I have a divine mission. Oh, we going to get to, oh my God. Sometimes your distrustful mindset, your desperate matchups, they turn into divine missions. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it. But I'm not going to. What's happening? They turn into divine missions. Now here's what happens. Here's what happens, right? We get these things, we get these messages, right? And listen, there are some beautiful people that I am in contact with, right? And these people, they're but I get the same complaint. I don't even open my DMs because, what's up, mom? Or some explicit comment that has nothing to do with them as a person. Here it is. Thank you, butterfly. Here it is. What happens is that because the people didn't take the time to get to know them, these people are reaching out. Let's talk about thirst traps. Because thirst traps usually start in the DMs. Hey, thank you, Taco. Here's what happens. Thirsty people slide into the DMs. Why? These people, they want to be thought about. They want to be heard. They want to be inspired. So they slide in there looking for attention, looking for external validation, looking for somebody to pay attention to them, looking for an opportunity to kind of sneak up on something or an opportunity or whatever. So what happens is these women and men, let's because ladies, we got some stuff to talk about. Okay, Brad, what's happening? Jackie, what's up, love? So what happens is these people go in there and they shoot their shot. Boom. They shoot the shot and they're in there and they're wanting attention. And this is why you have DMs for a dude from like 10 years ago. He's been in your DMs talking to you for the past 10 years, hoping that his opportunity is going to be called, hoping that his number is going to be pulled one day, hoping that he's going to grab some attention, hoping that he's going to do something or say something. But the angle of approach is wrong. Why is the angle of approach wrong? Because your distrustful mindset has caused you to misrepresent yourself. Because you won't set proper boundaries, you misrepresent yourself. Because you don't have barriers in place, you misrepresent yourself. Why is this person in your inbox talking to you like this? Because you let it happen. We have to stop shying away from confrontation. We have to stop shying away from confrontation. And confrontation doesn't necessarily have to be a knockdown, drag out fight. Okay? A confrontation is simply an aggressive difference of opinion. So the next time you see, hey, ma, do you know my children? Don't talk to me like that. And a simple conversation like that begins to change your entire narrative. I see it. Day after day, week after week, month after month. A simple standing up for this is not me. Don't address me like that can change the entire narrative. A simple looking at your husband, looking at your wife and saying, hey, you're not going to treat me like this. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, I am not going to tolerate this. This doesn't make you self-centered. It doesn't make you egotistical. It doesn't make you better than anybody. But this is not allowing your DM, your direct message to me, to create a distrustful mindset in me and cause me to miss out on my divine mission. Y'all don't want to talk to me right here. Everybody on the face of this planet was created for something. How do we lose our way? How do we lose our way? We lose our way because we allow our situation to determine our elevation. We allow our past to put purpose in prison. We allow others' view of us to not allow us to have vision. And this happens, and this starts in the very beginning. Let me explain something to you right now. The best way to kill doubt in your life is when it's a baby. The best way to kill doubt in your life is when it's an infant stage, but we let it ride because we don't want to seem like we're tripping. We don't want to seem like we're too much. We don't want to come at somebody that we've never met 5 states away. But now, because you're ignoring this person and this person has been in your messages trying to get your attention, they're calling you out of your name anyway. So let them call you out of your name for standing on something. Let them call you out of your name for standing on principle. Let them call you out of your name for being authentic. Let them call you out of your name for walking in purpose and walking with vision. Let them call you out of your name because your boundaries are in place. Let them call you out of your name because you're walking in what God has called you to walk in. Let them call you out of your name because you're being found faithful doing what you're supposed to do. Because as much as I am faithful, I'm going to be equally fruitful, and soon it's not even going to matter. But in order for that to happen, I got to get into the DMs, kill this distrustful mindset so that I can focus on my divine mission. Oh, y'all better come get me today. Y'all better come get me today. The effects of not checking your DMs. Every kiss begins with K. The effects of not regulating your DMs. Strained relationships, emotional distress, decreased productivity. Watch this. This is exactly what your direct message, or the people who can direct message you, because we don't set the boundaries. Here is exactly what happens. Here is, I'm about to give you the blueprint. I'm about to give you the blueprint to somebody who's lost their way. I'm going to give you the blueprint to exactly how it happened, and it all started with a direct message. My God. Okay. It all started with a direct message. The first thing that happens is that you check the DM, you check the message, right? And then I realize here that I'm no longer just talking about literal direct messages. I'm talking about what's being said to you, the type of environments that you find yourself in, the type of people that you hang out with, the type of people who you give your heart on a silver platter to, who has done nothing to earn it. I'm talking about the people who you care about their success more than you care about. I'm talking about the type of people who you've given advice over and over and over and over again. I'm talking about the people that are inconsiderate to your feelings, inconsiderate to your situation. I'm talking about the people who have not earned the word love. And before anybody comes to me, there's a difference between agape love and eros love. Agape love is the love of Christ, and that's the love that we owe to humanity. But eros love is love that requires action. There's a verb. You have to earn what it is. But if I'm going to serve you my heart on a silver platter without verifying whether or not you're qualified to hold it, I can't be mad when it gets dropped. My God, somebody come get me in here today. First thing that happens, the relationship starts off strained. What you're thinking is a bond is actually a trauma bond. What you're thinking was a connection is actually the seed of chaos. Okay. So what we're thinking is this infatuation stage. We're thinking that it's going to be something that can last forever. We're thinking that it can be something that's going to last for a season, for a couple of seasons. We're thinking I'm just here for a good time and not a long time. We're thinking this until the noradrenaline and the dopamine floods the frontal cortex. It cancels out my reasoning and logic. And the next thing you know, I fell in love. Tell me, what sense does that make? Love is the only term or only context in which we use fell and mean it to be something good, when in every other context is something bad. When have you ever failed and it felt good? When you fall, literally, you usually end up with broken bones. You usually end up with scrapes on the knee. You usually end up with some sort of pain, at least the ice pack. You got to sit down and take a break. All of these things are painful. So why then would I allow myself to fall in love with somebody that's not qualified to hold my heart? Here's why. Because when the DM was sent, when the message was sent, now you could have met this person in person, and the first date is DMs. It's all the DMs that you need. But instead of focusing on what's actually being said, instead of dating with a purpose and an agenda, instead of hanging out with a purpose and an agenda, I'm just allowing what goes by. And this is no different than the DMs. This is why DMs are so dangerous, because the DMs, I'm going to tell you what it is that I want you to see and leave it up to your interpretation. And because I know that you're not going to ask me for clarity, we're going to go down this ambiguous road as long as it's going to take us. And then when you call me out, when you try to hold me accountable, I'm not going to allow you to do it, because we actually never talked about this. And now this direct messenger has caused a distrustful mindset, and this is going to cause me to doubt what my divine mission is. So the relationship starts out 0 to 1. Automatically, we're down bad because we refuse to gain clarity. Because we allow the emojis and we allow the ambiguity continue. We allow people to talk to us in acronyms. We allow the brief conversations because we don't want to press too far. But you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to either block completely or get clarity and continue. Put this in a point. I will not continue without clarity. And today I'm talking to somebody in here. I feel you. Today I'm talking to somebody in here who don't necessarily ask for clarity. They have a bad habit, and this is not all your fault. Right? This is upbringing. This is conditioning. This is learning that has taken place over the course of our lives that has canceled out our voice, has canceled out our boldness, canceled out our will to do something better, who has canceled out our willingness to stand up for ourselves, who've canceled out or listened to the direct message when they were teenagers that said you got to have thicker skin, who listened to the teenagers, that teenage voice or that young adult voice when they were being direct message to be tougher than that. Don't take it like that. Don't be so serious all the time. You got to have a sense of humor. You got to be able to laugh it off. It's not that serious all the time. Here it is. When it comes to my head, it is serious. When it comes to my heart, it is serious. When it comes to the fruit being produced by my hands, it is serious. And I will not tolerate any direct message that's going to give me a distrusting mindset that's going to dismantle. Okay. The second thing that happens. The second thing that happens is emotional distress. The second thing that happens is emotional distress. Why? Because how many times y'all did this, right? And I'm guilty of this myself, right? Before I respond to a text or something like that, right? I'll say, I wonder what they meant by that. Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Did I do something? Why? Because I can't tell tone through text. I can't gauge response time via text. And as a result, it gives me a bit of emotional distress. How many times do we have the 3-hour rule? Ladies, I'm getting ready to step on some red toes right here, right now. I'm getting ready to step on the red bottoms. I'm getting ready to step on some Timbs. I'm getting ready to scuff some Timbs. Everything that you think you know about the dating market right now is garbage. There is no 90-day rule. There is no 3-hour text rule. There is no next day rule. There is none of this stuff. Why? What happened to people being authentic and doing what they actually feel? But what's happened is we've read the blogs. We've read what experts have had to say, right? We're listening to what's his name, Derek Jackson, who was cheating on his wife. We're listening to Steve Harvey for advice, who got cheated on himself. We're listening to all of these gurus about what advice is supposed to happen inside of a relationship. When truth of the matter is, it's this, that, this, and that, and this, and this, and that. Every kiss begins. She said, what is the 3-hour text rule? So the 3-hour text rule, I never thought that I'd be in a position to explain this, but here we go. Sandlot, you're killing me, Smalls. The 3-hour text rule is after you text somebody, you wait 3 hours, and this is supposed to put a pause and increase the desire for that person to speak to you, right? It's garbage because the type of men that you say that you want, the type of women that you say that you want, they don't respond to you within that 3-hour text window because they're busy focusing on their future. They're busy pursuing purpose. They're busy doing something that they were passionate about. They're busy, watch this, they're busy doing the thing that attracted you in the first place. This is why it's trash. You say that you want this. You say that you want that. But the truth of the matter is if somebody has time to go back and forth with you all day long, bang, 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 it's like all day long. When do you work? What do you do for a living that has you with the ability to just do this? But it also should tell you on the flip side that this person is a multitasker. And this person can easily deceive you. It also should tell you that you should investigate the tendencies more closely, because what they're supposed to be doing, what's supposed to be providing for them, the job that they're supposed to be on, that they're not on. So if relationships are work is synonymous with job, and if relationships is work, and he can or she can not do their job to go and do something else. What happens when it's time to do some work on the relationship? What happens when they're supposed to be on the job of love? Okay, I don't got time to get into that right now. But Monday, we got some stuff to talk about. It causes emotional distress. Why? Because I don't have clarity. I don't have clarity in what it is that I'm doing or what it is that I'm saying or how this person's receiving it. And because I've been conditioned my entire life to always put everybody else's needs before mine, I have a distrusting mindset. But the person that I'm distrusting is not actually the other person. The person that I'm distrusting is actually me. This is what the destruction of a person's purpose looks like. It causes a sense of emotional distress because I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm seeing the houses in the Hamptons. I'm seeing my friends taking trips to the Maldives. I'm seeing my friends in Dubai. I'm seeing my friends out dancing. I'm seeing people pulling up in new cars and buying new houses and all of this other kind of stuff. And I'll message them. Right? I'll message them, hey, congratulations on this thing, and da-da-da-da, that and the third, and they don't write back. And now I take offense to it. Oh, they think that they're better than me. No, they're busy working, trying to maintain what it was that you saw. Okay. But then this creates us saying, am I good enough? Am I doing enough? And now we're starting to plant the seeds in doubt within ourselves. And then once that doubt blooms, we talked about this already. The third thing that happens is decreased productivity, right? It doesn't matter what happens, right? You get the DM. You either answer it or you don't, right? And we talked about it, right? We're going to open it, right? I need all of y'all, everybody here that's here right now. I have some homework for y'all. I need you to either go answer or clear all your DMs today. I'm talking to somebody right now. I need you to go answer or clear all your DMs today. Why? Because what happens is, Kirby, I'm coming right down your block right now. Because what happens is if you don't open your DMs, then you miss the one that you needed. You missed the one that you didn't know you needed. Your line is so busy. Your mailbox is so full that when something of value actually comes, you miss it. So either go answer them all or clear them all. I'm not judging, whichever you decide. But today we're going to reset the counter. What was 99 in there, that dopamine hit that you got from that red button being lit up at the bottom of the screen? Oh yeah, I'm in your business. The dopamine hit that you got has to go away. Why? Because today is day one. And with this different mindset, we're not going to allow our DMs to turn into a distrusting mindset. So I'm going to clear them right here, right now. But don't miss the bar. Don't miss the bar, right? How many people in your ear that are direct messaging you verbally that you need to clear out? This is spam. This is spam. This is phishingware. This is a junk mail. This is something that I should not even waste and spend my time on, but because I respect the bond that we built, because I respect the relationship, because it makes me feel needed, because it makes me feel wanted, because it makes me feel desired, because nobody else is talking to me in my real life, so I have to disappear into this virtual world where it makes me believe subconsciously that everybody wants to talk to me. It is time to clear it out. We are done with defeated mindsets. Another DM. We are done with distrusting mindsets. We are now focused on our divine mission, and in order for us to get what it is that we need to get in our life, in order for us to receive the messages that we're supposed to receive in our life, in order for somebody to come at us with intentionality, with purpose, with an agenda, with something to add to the equation to help propel me into purpose, I have to clear the junk away. Because if I don't clear it, check this out. Here's some technology for you right here. If you allow your mailbox to get full unchecked, eventually you'll run out of storage space and new messages stop coming in. My God, did you hear what I just said? We have to clear the cache. The messages that are just sitting there takes up storage space. In other words, it takes thoughts away. It takes emotions away. It takes love that should be given to somebody else. It takes attention away. We have to clear the cache. So either answer them all or clear them all. Today we're clearing the cache. And because my messages are delayed, because I'm not getting them, because I don't open them, because for whatever reason, because I won't clear these people out of my life that are speaking toxicity into my life, because I won't clear these people out, they're taking up space. They're holding storage. They're holding brain capacity. They're holding power. As a result of that, they're holding your healing. They're holding your happiness. They're holding open the hole that was in your heart. time to clear the cache. What's in your DMs? Do you have unread messages? Unread messages are representative of offenses of the past, where people are trying to talk to you about who you used to be. They're trying to talk to you about who you used to be. They're constantly reminding you of when you was a block boy. They're constantly reminding you of when you was a 304. They're constantly reminding you of when you failed kindergarten. They're constantly reminding you of your voice being canceled. They're constantly reminding you of the mommy or the daddy issues that you might have. They're constantly triggering you to be upset about something. Your unread messages are representative of the things or the offenses that happened to you in your past that you won't let go of, that you won't check. It's all lit up. See, when you don't read the message, it stays lit. So when you happen to open your inbox, when you're doing an inventory of self, when you're trying to figure out what's actually going wrong in your life, the things that you've read are grayed out because it's in the past. Might I argue that we switch the order? Might I argue that stop allowing things that you've done, things that people have said, people that you have lost, to be the highlight to be the highlight of your messaging. Why? Because if I'm looking at this, everything that I didn't read yet means that I didn't want to read it then. And at some point, I'm going to have to either read it or delete it. I'm going to either check them or let it go. What else comes in the DMs? Screenshots. Screenshots. Here we go. Screenshots are representative of infections that are in your soul. Screenshots, you notice that the screenshots that are in your DMs always happened in the past. My God. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a part 2 to this. I see it now. They're never in the present. They're never in the present. They're always in the past. Now, here's why this is important. Is because I can't tell you how many people. You know, if you go back, you keep scrolling up inside of your camera, you're going to find a picture with an X. Oh, I just like the time that we were spending together. Then gone. It's got to go. You'll find screenshots of other text message conversations because you're holding receipts about something negative that happened to you. Keep scrolling. It's got to go. What purpose is it serving you in your present? It's just taking up storage. What else? Photos from the past or photos from your potential. I'm going to take a picture of this dress because one day I'm going to get married and I'm going to wear a dress like this. But the only thing that does is it points to the fact that you don't have a... Okay, let me go find something safe to do today. I'm gonna drive this car one day. Okay, well, print it out, put it on the vision board, and get it out of your phone where you have to look at it every day. Get it out of your direct messages where you can look at it, you can acknowledge it, but that should not be what's pouring into you. That should not be what's going in your ear. That should not be the thing that you're focused on. It should not be the first thing that you see when you open your phone, right? We talked about it on Thursday, how when Adam and Eve were in the garden in Genesis chapter 3, how before he got Eve to sin, the first thing he did was agitated her. And instead of focusing on the entire planet in which they could have roamed, they were only focused on the one thing that they're lacking. This is what we do to ourselves. This is exactly what we do to ourselves. We focus on the thing that we lack. Adam and Eve had the entire planet. They named everything on the entire planet. Sweetie, thank you. They had everything on the entire planet. But when you're focused on the wrong thing, when you're focused on the one thing that you're lacking, this is going to cause an agitation. This agitation then plants that seed of a doubtful mindset. And we're doing it to ourselves. Our direct messaging to ourselves puts us in a very, very, very dangerous place. But there's hope. There's hope. Last angel, what's happening? There's hope, right? There's 6 things. There's 6 things that we have to do in order to ensure that our direct message doesn't turn into a distrustful mindset. 6, number 1, put the boundaries and the filters on. Put the boundaries and the filters on, right? If I don't follow you back on this very app, if I don't follow you back, your message goes to the request and I'll deal with it when I want to. In other words, stop allowing unfamiliar people and unfamiliar things to speak directly to you. Your peace is too important. Your purpose is too important. Your happiness is too important for you to allow anybody or anything that does not know you to have any sort of impact on your decision-making process. Stop allowing people that are unfamiliar with your circumstances. Stop allowing people who didn't watch you through the struggle to be around to tear down the success. I have to put the filters in place. I have to put that request feature in place. It's not that I don't want to hear from you, love. I love you just because you're God's creation. I love you. If I can help you, I will do that. I got testimonies. I got receipts. If I can help you, I will. And this is how I operate my life. But if I don't know you, you can't just run up on me like that. Why? Because my energy is too important. My peace is too important. My happiness is too important. And if I allow you to just run up on me like you know me and you do something that is detrimental to my future, if you do something that is detrimental to my health, if you do something detrimental to the Holy Spirit that is operating on the inside of me, you make me ineffective in my purpose. And I refuse to allow what you're trying to say to me. I refuse to allow your direct message to give me a distrustful mindset, which then cancels my divine mission. I refuse. It is too important. It is too critical. It is too crucial. Put the boundaries in place. If I don't know you, then you don't know me. And when I'm considering the source of the information, when I'm considering where this is coming from, and how much does this actually, you weren't, but you, No. Boundaries in place. If I don't follow you back, that means that I don't know you. And it's not that I don't want to hear from you again, but it just goes into this other folder and I'll deal with it when I'm not busy on purpose, when I'm taking some time to relax, when I'm scheduling time to actually deal with issues like this. Because DMs, again, they take up storage space. So they either have to be read and deleted or just deleted outright altogether. Second thing, take small steps. Take small steps when you're doing these things, right? The first, if you open up a DM, ladies, y'all listen, I've heard horror stories. If the first thing that a man direct messages you about is a body part, there's no further steps to be taken. It's not. You're done. If you know that I'm a Christian and you inbox me about a tarot reading, we're done. Why? Because you have no consideration for who I am as a person. What point of reference are you speaking to me from? What point have you gotten to know me? You just like what you're looking at, and sin begins with the eye. My God. Okay. Jesus himself talked about it. It is better to pluck out the eye. Okay. So we have to take small steps to build trust. And I'm not talking about trust in the world. I'm talking about trust in myself. I got to take small steps. Okay, cool. I'm triggered to act this way in this particular situation. So I'm gonna figure out some resilience. But in the meantime, I got to put some distance here. This person I don't necessarily like, and the last time that we were face to face in the same room, there we almost came to blows. So I probably shouldn't go there without a conversation happening first. I have to put the steps in place to rebuild trust in myself. And now, because I know who I am, because now I'm walking in purpose, now because I'm walking in fullness of self, now I'm walking at my highest vibrational level, I know me. And I'm not going to allow you to influence the way that I act, because the minute that I do that, I'm no longer a solid person. I'm no longer who I think that I am. I'm no longer the person that I knew. So I got to take small steps to build trust in myself. Number 3, prioritize trust and model trustworthiness. You can't trust anybody else if you don't trust yourself. You can't make trust a priority, loyalty a priority. You can't make these things a priority in any relationship in which you don't trust yourself. One of the most disappointing things that I ever hear is when people, I don't trust myself to do that. Why? Oh, I can't trust myself around this person. Why? Because proper boundaries have not been set. So the direct message that you were listening to is a bad one. You have to find a different messenger. That's another DM. We have to find a different messenger. We're all talking about the banning of this app, right? And everybody's looking for other social media platforms, meaning that once one form of messaging stops serving my purpose, I have to find a different one. Once another one starts to drag me down a rabbit hole, I have to find a different one. I have to change the algorithm that allows access to me so the people that I don't even want won't even see me. I'm talking about this app, but catch the bar in real life. So they won't even see me. And because I don't trust myself. And this is what that gut feeling feels like. When, you know what? I knew I shouldn't have did that. I knew I shouldn't have been over there. I knew I shouldn't have trusted. Why didn't you listen? Because you were listening to the wrong and opening the wrong direct messages. You got hurt and now you have a distrustful mindset. Because you allowed the direct message to lead you into a desperate matchup. My God. Number 4, sovereign, what's happening? Number 4, if you value the relationship, if you value who is if you value the person that is sending you the message, give them a chance to change. They may have misread, misunderstood, misinterpreted something that was happening inside of your life. They may have misread the situation. They may have thought that something was going the way that it shouldn't have gone. But give people a chance to change. If you value the relationship that's there, if you value what's at stake, if you value, and this is a big if, but because there's some offenses that are too big to come around from or to turn around from. But if your first message to me is disrespectful, then there's no coming back from that. This tells me that you're inconsiderate of everything that I stand for, which tells me that you were either too lazy or too ignorant to do the research as to who I am and what principles you stand on. So this direct message will not lead to a desperate matchup. It will not cancel my divine mission. It will not lead to a defeated mindset because I'm cutting this off right here, right now, after I set the boundary. Number five, seek to understand before seeking to be understood. This right here is the secret to unpacking all effective communication. Heart of the Crown, what's up? This is the secret to unpacking all miscommunication. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Why? Because if I seek to understand you, I know the level of communication that I'm on, right? And I don't even have to waste time. If I can meet you at the level that you're at and I don't like the level that you're on, I'm either going to ask you to elevate your level or I'm going to leave you alone. This saves so much heartache, so much heartbreak, so much time, so much productivity, so much efficiency. Why? Because the time that I'm wasting attempting to pull you up, the time that I'm wasting slumming it on your energy level, the time that I'm wasting attempting to gain clarity from your non-communicative self, I could be busy pursuing purpose. I could be busy praying. I could be busy fasting. I could be busy walking in what it is that God has for me to walk in. I do not have time. Either we're doing this or we're not. But in order for me to make this decision, I have to first understand where you are. Not just see where you are, but I have to understand where you are. How do we get here? I was in a conversation in a live earlier. We were talking about counselors and therapists. And I mentioned that my first call with clients is not a call to discuss their problems. I need to understand, okay, where did you grow up with both parents? Do you have a stable household now? Are you an only child? Or are you the type of person who does this? I need to understand who you are, and that way I can adjust the level in which I meet you. Sometimes we start out even. Sometimes I'm out here. Sometimes I might need to go to the layer, to the level below you and push you to where you need to be. Sometimes I just need to stick my hand down and pull you to where you need to be. But I have to understand, because if I seek to understand you, what I'm doing is I'm setting the tone for the way the rest of the relationship is going to go. And here's what we talk about, but we just call it things like shadow work. We call it things like mirror work. We call it things like unpacking. We call it things like venting. But here's the thing. I have to vet myself. I have to establish criteria for vetting myself. And the way that I do that is by being humble, open, and transparent. This is how we do it. This is how it gets done. And if when I'm dealing with other people, when I'm dealing with other situations, I should go in and observe with my eyes, observe with my ears twice as much as I speak. Why? Because this is going to show me who's who in the zoo. This is going to show me what's happening. This is going to show me and help me to understand exactly where I am in this environment. And this is going to tell me how I'm going to move. My objective doesn't change because of the operations around me. Put that in a point, my God. My objective does not change due to the operations around me. In other words, I'm going to walk into every room as if God himself sent me there because he did. I'm going to take every step. I'm going to have every conversation as if God was listening because he is. I'm going to have every conversation. I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to help, if I can help, when I'm going to help. Why? Because this is what I was created to do. My objective doesn't change because of the operations. And if you choose to do something that is counterintuitive to my objective, you have to get off the train. You have to get out of my DMs and don't dare put me in your mentions. And finally, practice forgiveness. We have to get to a place in which we're practicing forgiveness. And this is not forgiveness of other people more so than it is forgiveness of yourself. A lot of us are DMing ourselves. My God. A lot of us are DMing ourselves. We're DMing ourselves anxiety. We're DMing ourselves imposter syndrome. We're DMing ourselves the spirit of lack. We're DMing ourselves the fact that we're not worthy enough. We're DMing ourselves. So in order for that to happen, we have to forgive ourselves. Did you play a part in the trauma? Sure. Is it all your fault? No. Did you play a part? Are you responsible for some of the things that happened to you? Yes, you are. But is it all your fault? No. Should you continue to punish yourself? No. Okay, we get it. You shouldn't have allowed yourself to be played, but what are we going to do about that? Let's get up and set some proper boundaries. Is it your fault that you jumped out of character and it caused you to take that iron vacation? Take the accountability and move on. Stop trying to put a cape on and take too much accountability because you have a hero syndrome where you think that you could save the world by being the bigger Listen, let me explain something to you. You have to be fair. Life works within balance. There's no such thing as you being the sacrificial lamb. Jesus came and he did that already. Some of us, we just need to forgive ourselves. And the way that we do that is we begin to unpack what actually happened. Some of us are holding on to feelings. Some of us are holding on to feelings. Some of us are holding on to guilt. Some of us are holding on to shame about things that happened 15 years ago. You can't stand to look at your child because you don't like his daddy. You can't smile at the person who holds the door for you at the grocery store because the last person did that, caught the feel. These things have happened. Is it right? No. Was it your fault? No. Are you still living? Yes. Do you still have an opportunity to pursue purpose? Yes. Do you still have an opportunity to walk in what you're called to walk in? Absolutely. And if I could submit to you today that forgiveness of yourself will free your future, our purpose is in prison because we put it there due to the pain that we felt, but we can't forgive ourselves. Might I suggest that learning to forgive yourself is the key to the freedom to your future? I couldn't even get that one out. That was crazy. Charlene, thank you for the follow. Might I suggest to you that learning to forgive yourself will then enable forgiveness of other people. This forgiveness of other people allows you to flow in the will of God. It allows you to flow in purpose. It allows you to flow at a high vibrational state. It allows you to flow in your most energetic place, and then you stop pursuing these things and they fall right in your lap. There's a difference between pursuit and attraction. You pursue things from a desperate place. You pursue things from a painful place. You chase things as a result of chaos. You try and reach for these things as a result of trauma, but when you attract these things, this is God saying you're in alignment, and now you deserve them. Questions, comments, or concerns? Put them in the chat.